FortWhyte Farms is a non-certified organic farm located in Winnipeg, Manitoba. We grow a variety of different vegetables at our farm as well as raise livestock. In this video, we are going to share with you some of the vegetables that we grow at the farm and tell you a little bit about how we grow them.
I'm gonna talk about kale today. So at FortWhyte Alive. So at FortWhyte we have like two types of kale. Like we have the kale dinosaur and the red Russian kale.
The kale grows inside the greenhouse until it's ready to be transplanted. For weeding, we'd use tools such as a hoe, weeding buckets, wheelbarrows, and gloves. Generally use the hoe to scratch the weeds off the surface of the soil. It's good to cut weeds off the roots when they only have few leaves, or uproot them when they have more. If the weeds are very big, you will have to hand pull them. For harvesting, we just use buckets and elastics and harvest them by hands. They don't require any tools or anything like that. Common pests are flea beetles and imported cabbage worms.
Hi, I'm Arizona and I'll be talking to you about beets. So here at the farm we have 3 types of beets. However, I was only able to harvest 2 of them. So I'll just show you off these ones. So the first one is called Detroit beets, and you'll recognize these at the grocery store. And then we also have touchstone gold beets. You may not see these very much, but yeah.
To grow a nice big beet, you want to really focus on the watering. So to get them to germinate, you want to make sure that you're watering really consistently. But once they've started to sprout up, you don't want to overwater them because they're going to grow too much foliage and you're not going to get a big root. And if you don't water enough, then you're going to get a really long root and it's going to be pretty bitter. So you just want to water the right amount and you're going to get the best of both worlds. You just want to keep the soil nice and moist. You don't want it to dry out and you don't want it to puddle too much. The best way to harvest beets is just grabbing them here at the leaves, giving a little tug. Good way to store beets if you want them to last a while in the fridge. You just want to cut them a couple inches from the root. Cut them off like this. And that stops them from drying out. And then, yeah, just put them in the fridge in a bag. It might last up to about 4 weeks. Beets aren't the hardest to grow, but you just want to make sure that when you seed them and then they sprout, that you thin them. And thinning them causes the roots to get nice and big. And then you also want to keep the weeds down so that all the energy goes into the plant. And then you got yourself a good beet.
There are 2 ways to plant beets. The first one is in the greenhouse, so we'll grow it there, and then once it's ready, it'll be moved into the outside. And then we can also direct seed it.
Here at FortWhyte Farms, we grow a few varieties of garlic, including Enchilium, Music, and Persian Star varieties. It takes a total of around 9 months until we get to harvest the garlic, as we plant it in the fall. Plant it by direct seed in fall, about 8 weeks before the first fall frost. Set them root side down, 4 to 6 inches apart. For maintaining your garlic, you're going to want to weed them well and fairly often. They don't compete against other weeds too well. Your garlic needs a constant supply of moisture when putting on leaf grow and bulbing up. Lack of water in fully grown plants can start the curing process. Stop watering your plants about 2 to 3 weeks before harvest to allow them to dry out. Garlic doesn't have too many pests. Your main concerns will potentially be onion maggots and gophers. You can prevent onion maggots with crop rotation and by using floating row covers.
Hi, I'm Simon, and today I'm going to be talking about the carrots. Here at the farm we have a few variety of carrots, and here the example we have Yellowstone, Purple Sun, and some other. And the carrot we have here, it's direct seeded, it's not transplanted. For weeding, hand weeding, we use hand weeding, and for watering them we use irrigation. And because it's direct seeded, the carrot needs to have space, so we need to clean them. How we prevent the pest is we have a cat pesto, so he's always chasing the balls, and for harvesting ground fork to loosen the carrots, then you just pull them out with your hand. If you remove the top part of the carrot, that's one way of keeping the carrot fresh. They will be pulling moisture from the carrot, making it dry, and we have to keep it in the cold part of the fridge.
Tomatoes are grown properly with a lot of nutrients, with nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and with a lot of compost, so they grow healthy. They're also very susceptible to diseases, and it's important to keep them clean by picking up their ripened tomatoes. So tomatoes are drought tolerant. They are a warm season plant, so they need 6 hours of sun daily, and the less water that they get, the better the fruit taste. Tomatoes are planted typically in the greenhouse first, and then they get transplanted into the field. It's better to transplant them deeper than they are in their pot, so the roots can grow strong and healthy.